This show is dedicated to the brave men and women of Ukraine. They're fighting not just for their country, but for all of Western democracy against a would-be conqueror. I sincerely hope this finds its way to them, and that I can give them maybe a brief moment of laughter in the darkness, even if my jokes do suck. Slava Ukraini. Welcome back to Prairie Improv. Here for a special show for the fighting men and women of Ukraine, Resistor Vic. Hey everybody, thanks for coming out tonight. I sure do appreciate it. I hope everybody's drinking. It always makes my show better. Except for you folks on the front line. No drinking from you. You need to be aware. Anyway, let's talk about Vladimir Putin. Or as Trump calls him, Vladdy Daddy. You know, it's too bad that Trump doesn't realize Vladdy loves him about as much as he loves Eric. And that ain't very much. Yeah, good old Vlad, he wants to restore the USSR before he kicks the bucket. Personally, I think he's just trying to prove his manhood. Well, I got news for you, Vlad. If Viagra can't fix it, neither can invading Ukraine. In fact, the rest of the world's sitting here looking at you thinking, wow, this guy looks even more impotent. You know what I love? There's this guy, I think he's in Ukraine. He posts these videos. His name is Nightshade666. He posts actual war footage out of Ukraine. And my favorites are the drones that are chasing the Russian soldiers through the field. The only thing that makes those clips better is when someone puts Benny Hill music over it. Because nothing says superpower like running from a flying lawnmower with the theme of Yakety Sax playing. And speaking of drones, I really think that Putin should be thanking Zelensky. I mean, Vlad spent years juicing his runners with steroids just so that he could win Olympic races. Then along comes the SBU with Operation Spiderweb, all those smuggled drones. And suddenly, there isn't a Russian alive who can't run faster than Usain Bolt. Congratulations, Vlad. Russia finally got a gold medal in retreat. You know, Putin brags about advancing in Ukraine. Funny thing is, the reports say that he's losing about 1,500 men a day. And for what? The front line's already moving backwards, straight toward Russia. They can't hold land, not any better than Hegseth can hold his liquor. Vlad, your army's now smaller than your manhood. You know, between Vlad and his army, I wonder if it wouldn't be a good investment to buy Viagra stock. The old Vlad's ego must be taking a terrible hit. A 3-day victory turned into 3 years of losing. He really doesn't have very many friends. He's only got 2. You can't count China and North Korea because they're just taking his money and laughing all the way to the bank. Yeah, you better hope nothing happens to Viktor Orban, because if it does, he'll only have 1 friend left. Can you imagine only having 1 friend? And it's Donald Trump? Oh. And finally, some bad news, folks. For those of you who have seen my other improv shows, you know I've got a favorite imaginary audience member named Bob. Last week, I was kind of worried about Bob. He didn't move any. Sorry to tell you that Bob didn't make it. But he did last longer than a Russian on the front line. Thanks, folks. Thanks for coming out. All you men and women on the line in Ukraine, you stay safe. And thanks again. Good day. Poor old Bob. He was a good egg.